It was a very interesting day today with the presentation of the Energy Technology Perspectives 2016 of the IEA, where we actually talked about the role of cities in terms of getting to a sustainable energy future. Sustainable from the fact that we cannot grow the emissions, we have to reduce them very significantly if we want to meet the targets that have been set up by the Paris Agreement. So this was the focus, how cities can play a role, how the national governments can work with local governments to achieve those objectives. Now, what are the main conclusions of the report is that we have a number of areas that cities play a role. The first one is on transportation. Transportation today represent a very significant part of the issues that we have with air quality. They have also a problem with the efficiency of our energy systems. In terms of air quality, we just published 2 weeks ago our first report on the role of the energy system in air quality. This report shows that there are about 7 million premature deaths in the world due to the air quality issues, not only in transportation but the use of energy in cooking in some of the developing economies. So what we do there is we propose practical solutions to actually reduce significantly that level of premature death that is impacting not only developing economies but also developed economies. So that is the first part. So what can we do from a transportation side? We have shown that actually it does not cost much more in terms of infrastructure and investment to go from the NDC scenario to a 2-degree scenario. Actually, it costs less. What are we doing? We are reducing significantly the number of internal combustion engines. We are replacing them more and more by electric and battery vehicles, where we expect that in a 2-degree scenario we will have 1 billion electric cars compared to 1 million today. So this would be multiplying by a factor of 1,000 between now and 2050. So how can we do that? We need to integrate much more local policies and national policies. One example that comes to mind is Norway, which saw about 20% new vehicles being electrical in 2015, and this is through a number of policies that were harmonized. Now, in terms of more important, other very important issues in terms of the role of cities, the role of heating and cooling, today we are seeing a very significant increase in the request for cooling, especially in developing economies. So we are proposing solutions that would provide the same comfort level but with using much less energy. This goes through building design, either for new buildings or restoration of existing buildings. We are also considering the role of cities to generate their energy systems either through renewables like solar and in some cases with wind, and also with municipal solid waste and other forms of heating, recycling and so on. So all these are part of the report. Now, in terms of what we look for, the technologies like hydrogen, which has been always considered but is not going at the progress we would like to see. There are a number of, in our scenarios, we don't see a very significant increase in hydrogen. We have produced at the IEA hydrogen and fuel cell technology roadmaps, which looks at the conditions for those to evolve. This includes infrastructure. This includes also the production of hydrogen and the use of hydrogen. So we see that the hydrogen evolving in areas like public transportation, like freight use, the fuel cell vehicles, and will come, but not necessarily at the initial pace that we considered. So the change of behavior of end users, we see that already in place. When we see the new ways of sharing transportation, also with using ICT to better do journey management is very important. We refer often to Uber, we refer to Waze as being ways that the transportation system has improved, but we also should look at the way that IT has improved public transportation. We can do much better planning today of transportation. So the user's behavior is very much influenced by the technologies that we provide to them, and it's not a one-way technology, it's a collaborative tool for improving the design of transportation system, but it also includes the smart grids, where we can optimize the behavior of what is now called the prosumers, which is consumer that is also producers, in terms of having a much more energy efficient system.